Hey everyone. Thank you for having me here today. My name is Reshama Shaikh, and my background is in statistics. I'm a director of Data Umbrella, and I'm also on the open source teams for scikit-learn and PyMC. You can find me on GitHub, Twitter, LinkedIn, Medium at Reshama S. Oh, there we go. Okay. A little bit about Data Umbrella, which is the community that I run. It's a global community for underrepresented persons in data science. And what we do is organize events on data science with a focus on open source. We've organized open source sprints or hackathons, and we curate resources for the community on data science and inclusive practices. We welcome all levels, beginners and experts and aspiring data scientists. We are a fiscally sponsored project of Open Collective. So today I'm going to talk about, with a focus on the Data Umbrella blog on GitHub. And so I want to start by showing you, this is the Data Umbrella organization. We use GitHub quite extensively. I'm a big fan of GitHub. This shows the page for Data Umbrella and how it can be customized with a README about some information. There's the option to pin 6 of your most often used repos. And so that's that. And it gives you some high level information about how many people fork it as well. And today I'm going to focus on the Data Umbrella blog, which is this one right here. And I'm just going to show an overview of it. This is the name of the repo is data-umbrella GitHub blog. That's all, very flexible on what you can call it. This is what it looks like. And this is the blog as it is, published on a website. Another word for that is deployed on the website. And this is a template that was purchased. I did not design it myself. I'm not very experienced designer, but we purchased a template. I think it was about $30 and customized it as well. And so this is, just an idea, overview of what it looks like. There we go. So, why do we use GitHub for our blog? So previously, our entire website was Google Sites, and because the reason it was set up is because Data Umbrella was started, and we needed a quick, easy, and fast way for a website, and Google Sites seemed to be the best option at the time. But there were limitations. For example, it's not very collaborative. It's not that easy to, copy and create pages. It's really not conducive for blogs text. It's, it's okay for web pages, but not for blogs. And, why GitHub and Jekyll? Well, it's a collaborative tool. It has version control on using GitHub. I've had experience with Git. It's open, and so people can see it and contribute to it. And it uses Markdown, which is a tool that I really, really enjoy using. So what is Jekyll? Well, it's a static site generator. It's written in a language called Ruby, and you don't really need to know Ruby to use it. It's an open source license. You can host it freely using GitHub Pages. The GitHub Pages lets you host one website. And another option for hosting is also Netlify, which I believe lets you host more than one site. And I'm going to show an example of this, but one of the benefits of Netlify is that you can see a preview of your changes that you published before you merge them in, which is really, really nice. And so, there are a lot of themes that you can use for Jekyll. I have this link here, jekyllthemes.io. So I encourage you to check it out. There's free themes, and then there's premium theme options from $29 all the way to $99. If you're new, I just suggest starting with a simple free one. Okay, so use case. So what do we use our blog for? We use it to communicate updates with the community. We provide reports for funders. As an example, Sometimes one of our events, we'd write a blog for it. We highlight people. Tiffany is a tech career coach. We do reports for our open source sprints. We've done a series of interviews with our speaker here as well. And so, we use it. We also use it for press updates and communicating, what we're doing. How often, we contribute, like sometimes it's, I would say, let's say on average monthly. And who contributes to it? It's the team at Data Umbrella. Community members can also contribute if they're being highlighted. And we have open issues for the community as well. So they can help us with any issues that we have open. This is a list of the skills that we've covered, and Emily mentioned them, so I won't go into detail too much here. What can community managers, how can they participate in this? One of the things is creating a contributing guide is really, really important because it lets people on your team as well as people in the community know how to get started. And I will show that guide as well for one of our repos. Code of conduct, GitHub has templates right on GitHub where you can choose a template, which is very, very helpful to have. Labeling issues really is like the best way for people to get started. It's like so important, particularly if there are labels such as good first issue, and reviewing pull requests and contributing to the blog. So the tips I mentioned, starting with a simple theme. Netlify is my preference over GitHub Pages because it helps see a website preview. Labeling is important, and Hacktoberfest is coming up soon, and so there are a lot of developers out there that are looking for repositories to contribute to that may never have even heard of your community, but they're searching on GitHub for labels and keywords. And we've had people in our community find us and contribute just from the Hacktoberfest. So to set up the blog, it's very doable, but it does take a while and a bunch of different skills, and there's not enough time here right now for me to go over it step by step. However, we had somebody from our community, Lauren Burke, present a really excellent tutorial on how to create a free data blog with Jekyll and GitHub Pages. And there's a summary blog as well, and it's about 45 minutes long. Markdown I mentioned before, and I'm going to show an example of it as well. It's a lightweight markup language for creating formatted text using a plain text editor. And maybe when I show it to you, it will make more sense. So let me come over here. And this is our blog, right? So I'll show you over here in terms of pull requests. So this is a pull request it's a bit old. Reading time to post layout. But what I want to show you, this is the perk of using Netlify, is that they submit, and we also have a template as mentioned. This is a deploy preview, and if I come here, notice that this PR is number 51. So if you come up here at the very top, it says deploy preview. This 51 matches the pull request number. And so what this pull request did was it added reading times. So, our current, if I'm going to open up a blog right here, right? Notice over here, it doesn't have how many minutes it takes to read it. And so somebody has been working on this. And so there, as a pre-ware, I'm going to go to, let's open up this one. They added 5 minutes to read. And so it lets you see what it looks like. And the reason, it hasn't been merged in yet is that there was a comment about if we could just add a little bit of space underneath the date. And so it's a stalled PR, which means it's been sitting there for a while. And that does happen. And so that is an example of the Netlify preview. And the other thing that I want to show you is it varies on the things, but this is a very common layout, which is, for example, under GitHub, there's a configuration file. There is as well, under pages and posts and images is where all the photos go. If we go under, say, posts, this is all the posts. This represents the text for the posts that appear here. And so if I show you, for instance, the latest one is Shanina, and I will, if I show you the raw version of it right here. So notice that it uses, for instance, Markdown is the way that it adds a link is it adds, for instance, the author I have is my name, Reshama Shaikh. It has open bracket left, right, and then parentheses, and that represents a link in Markdown. And so this 3 pounds here represents third level header. And as well, you know, one of the things about Jekyll is that you can also throw in a little bit of CSS HTML as well in there. And so that's, you know, that's an example of Markdown. Okay. And this blog, most of it was done, some of it was customized, like RSS was added. Down here, the meetup wasn't an option for an icon, and that was added as well. So connect with data. So before I go forward, I just want to say that, you know, to set up a blog, it may seem overwhelming, but it is doable. And no one person needs to know everything to get it working. So, you know, there are things that I still have trouble with, and I usually just ask people in my network to help me. For the theme that was purchased, I can email the developer, and he's quite helpful as well if I'm trying to customize something and it doesn't work. So, you know, that is an option as well. And yeah, and so I'm just going to end with Connect with Data Umbrella. If you're interested in learning more about our community, we're on our upcoming events are on Meetup. Our videos are on YouTube, and we have regular updates on LinkedIn.